Huddle up, Steelers Nation. It's Tank for Steelers Chalk Talk here on Wheeling's Fox Sports. Don't forget Pittsburgh, too, because you guys in Pittsburgh can hear Fox Sports Wheeling. Our signal is so strong over there in Little Washington and even Bridgeville, you can hear us. You know, the atmospheric on-arc pressures with the radio waves bouncing off. So, you know, just tune 1400 AM to your radio dial there in your Dodge Plymouth Fury 1968 as you're rolling down the road. And you can hear me, Tank, and the quarterback on occasion, Mike McMahon, former NFL quarterback, here on Fox Sports Wheeling, Pittsburgh. All right, Steelers Chalk Talk. I'm going to get ready to punt the ball deep this week and go places I've never been before. Yeah. 4-7. 4-7. I'm going to tell you something. It didn't need to be this way. It didn't need to be this way. Oh, it's a rebuilding year. Ben Roethlisberger's gone. It's a rebuilding year. And, you know, we got Trubisky, the Big Biscuit, and we got the Kenny Pickett out of Pitt. It's a rebuilding year. Horse crap. Horse poo. Doggy poo. Rebuilding year. Really? Really? It's what losers tell themselves. Let me start with this, with that offensive line unit. Was it a rebuilding year? You got Dan Moore and Dotson back. You got Mason Cole as your new center. You got the big bust out of Chicago playing right guard. Chuks Okafor playing right tackle. Well, remember last year he was your blindside tackle to start the season to protect an aging and beaten and broken one last ride in him cowboy Ben Roethlisberger. How'd that work out? Oops! Had 2 years to plan for that. Now we got to move Chuks Okafor to right tackle. Is that rebuilding or misjudgment? Underline, highlight in red. Misjudgment, i.e. bad coaching. Let's just go ahead and call it bad coaching. Trey Turner was your right guard last year. Remember him? Big sloppy guy, couldn't even move around a little bit. I don't even know if he's in the league this year. Now that brings me to my favorite topic on the offensive line this year. James Daniels from Chicago. Yeah. How you like this little kitty cat? 6'4", 327. 5 years in the league. Making $8 million a year. 8.8. By the way, the other kitty cat from Chicago, the quarterback, is making 7. Trubisky. To sit on the bench as a backup. James Daniels is making $8 million a year. Now, that $8 million is not the highest paid guard in the league. No, the Jaguars are paying $16.5 to Brandon Scherf. Yeah. The Browns are playing Joel Bitonio. $48 million over 3 years. That's $16 million a year. Chiefs, a winning football team, are playing Joe Thuney $16 million. However, as it drops off, James Daniels is the 11th highest paid offensive guard in the NFL. $26 million over 3 years. 8.8. 8.8. Well, ask yourself, are you getting your $8.8 million out of James Daniels? I wouldn't give this cupcake $1.5 million the way he's playing. Look out! You know what lookout blocks are? That's when the defensive lineman or linebacker goes flying by James Daniel, and that's what he screams at Trubisky and Kenny Pickett. Look out! You're going to get your ass knocked on the ground. Called the old lookout block. So was that part of the rebuilding year at 4-7? No one evaluated Chuks Okafor, that he sucked at left tackle last year, blindside, had to immediately move him to right and put in a rookie and Dan Moore last year. Your failed experiment to replace DeCastro with Trey Turner last year was a joke. Now it cost you $8 million for James Daniel to be, a C- right guard. Is that rebuilding? Or is that bad coaching? Mason Cole's doing okay. Now, if you want to get to the other side of the line, Dotson, Moore. I'm not going to come down hard on either one of these guys. Again, rebuilding year or bad coaching? Dan Moore got thrown to the wolves last year, so I couldn't be hard on him too much. Hi, rookie. Yeah, you don't worry. We got Zach Banner and Chuks Okafor. You're going to learn the ways of the NFL and the system and how to be a rookie, and we'll bring you along casually. Oh, wait a minute, Dan. You got to start week 4 because Chuks sucks. Oh, you never played blindside tackle? It's easy. Ask Joe Theismann. Threw him to the wolves. But 2022 is a bit rebuilding year. Don't worry. He's gotten better. He has raw talent. All right, Kevin Dotson at left guard. I know half of you see what I see. Half of you have your opinion. Half of you think he stinks. Half of you see what I see. This guy has all-pro potential written all over him. But in 2022, it's a rebuilding year. It's okay. Horse manure. Bad coaching. Starts from the top. Last year, Mike Tomlin brought in Akeem to coach the offensive line to replace Sean Stil'rs. He didn't even make it through the season. He was fired and sent back into Oregon, the University of, as an assistant offensive line coach. Was that rebuilding, or was that bad coaching on Mike Tomlin's part to hire Akeem? Now Tomlin has gone to his buddy from the University of Memphis days when they were both down there playing, and brought in Pat Meyer. Now, do you think when Mike Tomlin brought in Pat Meyer, he said, "Hey, Pat, it's a rebuilding year. There's no pressure on you. It'll be okay if we're a subpar 500 football team this year. It's a rebuilding year." No, that's not what Mike Tomlin told Pat Meyer when he hired him to coach the offensive line. Who the hell would say that as a head coach? Talked to Pat Meyer during training camp. I liked his attitude. I think he's a nice guy. However, what he is teaching, specifically the two young guys on the left side, Dotson, Moore, I've seen no progress from them. In fact, with Dotson, a step back. You hire a coach to coach people up. You hire them to make your line better. Oh, but it's a rebuilding year, right? So it doesn't matter. Horse manure. Mike Tomlin hired Akeem last year, who didn't even make it through the season. Mike Tomlin hired Pat Meyer to coach this team to be as good as they can on offensive line. Because why wouldn't you? Here's the arc. Here's the segue into the beef of my complaint. Why wouldn't you say to Pat Meyer, hey man, it's a rebuilding year. Don't worry about it. Or, hey Pat, look, you got to get this offensive line rolling, man. Well, why, coach? Isn't it a rebuilding year? Hang here, kiddies. Stay in the game with me. No, Pat, says Coach Tomlin. In fact, we're in really good shape. Let me tell you why. At running back, I got a kid named Najee Harris, who, behind that horrible line last year that Akeem, the guy I fired that you replaced, had 1,200 yards. The kid's a beast. He's an animal. He's as big as a guard. I got a great running back. Oh, okay, coach, we can get a run game going. That's the easiest thing to teach the guys. Well, hold on, Coach Pat Meyer of the offensive line. Let me tell you about my wide receiving core. I have Chase Claypool. He's kind of immature, but, we'll forgive him for that. Also, I got one of the highest paid wide receivers in the league in Deontay Washington. Oh, and by the way, this rookie kid we have coming in, I think he might be pretty good. George Pickens out of Georgia. And we got this little slot guy, Gunnar Ochowski or whatever his name, Ida Clam Chowderowski, who's okay. Coach, what are you telling me? Coach Tomlin, what are you telling me? Well, what I'm telling you is we have a good wide receiving core. Oh, did I mention my tight end I have? Second-year player out of Penn State, Pat Freiermuth. Coach, I'm telling you, this guy catches anything anybody throws at him. It doesn't matter if it's Big Ben Trubisky or who knows what Kenny Pickett has. He'll catch anything. So we got a good running back in Najee, and we got one hell of a wide receiving core. But it's a rebuilding year. So don't worry about it. The line can suck. Hey, you're listening to Tank here on Fox Sports Net Wheeling, Pittsburgh. Rebuilding year. This didn't have to be this way. And I've just talked about the offensive side of the ball. Now, take a time out at 4-7 and think about something here. Rebuilding year. Take all these skill players you have. Put them behind the offensive line that was blocking for the killer bees. Ben, Brown, Bell. Oh, different light, isn't it? Especially when Jaylen Warren, before he got hurt, came on. Oh my God. You mean this crop of specialty players, Pat Freiermuth, George Pickens, Najee Harris, Jaylen Warren, behind the offensive line that blocked for the killer bees? Yeah. No matter whether it's Pickett or Trubisky, you're 7-4 looking at playoffs. You're not 4-7 going, it's a rebuilding year, it's a rebuilding year. All right, I got to take a commercial break. When we come back, I'm going to continue this rant about it's a rebuilding year. Horse manure. It's bad coaching.